Hi, and welcome back.
What is wrong? Why are you...
You just made a funny expression.
Okay.
All right. Hi, welcome back to I Was Thinking. I am Nafees.
And I'm Simone, and I'm keeping all that in. What's up, everyone? How are you guys doing? Not only am I Simone, I am also a liar, because I said we would try to do this on our regular
Schedule.
Oh God, now I can't even talk.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, and it's been about like another month, probably 2, depending how long it takes me to edit this. That's another frustration I've been having as we keep doing this. I don't think my laptop has the storage anymore for me to export, or at least the program that I'm using. So sometimes I'll be done, but it takes me like a week trying to export it until I have to ask my dad to borrow his MacBook so I can export it through there. So I don't know. And I don't know if there's any other editing systems that I can use. I use Adobe Audition. It is just easier for me to use as far as editing. But yeah, my laptop acts like it's about to explode every time I try to export the last, like, I want to say 5 episodes we've done. So
wow.
It's been another struggle.
You also have a MacBook?
Yeah, I have a MacBook Air. I've tried using that one GarageBand thing, and I don't like it. It's too confusing for me. I've also tried to use Audition, and as far as editing, it's confusing for me. So I'm not that tech savvy, like at all.
And Adobe, I guess, is just very streamlined. So it's like, you know where everything is.
Yeah, and it's just like easier. When I was trying to get into like entertainment, which we'll talk about in a few, it's one of the programs where it's like the standard program as far as like the industry. So
it's still the standard?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Been the standard for a while.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, not really, because they're all on strike, but
I guess now, yeah. But what's up with you?
Yeah. Before we get into that, yeah, I'm fine. I'm extremely tired for 2 reasons. One, just because this week mainly, at work, at my new job and position, I'm still working part-time. But it's a lot smaller than when I was at the call center. So it's a really easy job. There doesn't need to be more people, but there's only 3 of us. And one of my coworkers is out because she had surgery. She'll be out for the month. So I've been going in and working extra hours to just, help, and honestly just to make some money. So that's been tiring. And then before we started recording, I was telling Nafees that my best friend Precious, I've mentioned her on here before, but her mom, she does my hair, and she's also is like really into cooking, and she's trying to get like a catering business started. So last night, her mom threw her sister a surprise party. Aww. I forgot how old her sister was throwing, turning. Guys, I told you I'm tired, so excuse me if I start saying words and stumbling a lot more. I think she turned like 35, but anyway, I helped out. At first, it was just for like volunteer work. I didn't think I was going to be like part of her team. It seems like after the night, she's trying to get like an actual team she may want me on. So I at least got paid for my work. Oh, but I'm tired from that because like I worked, like I helped in the kitchen, set up the food that they made, being basically a server. I was a server. And since I'm friends with them and been friends with them for a while, like afterwards, when everyone left, I stayed, I helped, I cleaned. Even when the other girls left, I followed them to their house and like helped them unpack everything. So it was fun. And if she wants me to help her get this business off, I'm more than willing to, especially now that I know I'm getting paid. Like I could use the extra money. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. It also goes into like hospitality, which I went to school for, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm just tired from that because I didn't get home till around midnight, and then I didn't go to sleep until around 1:30 because it takes me a long time to sleep and all that. And then I woke up at 7 this morning and then went grocery shopping because I had no food. Although she gave us a lot of food. That's one good thing because she cooks and she feeds us. So I ate food there, and then I took a lot of food home because there's still a lot of food left. Okay. That's good though. Are the grocery stores like close by your area, or do you have to like drive out? No, there's like an Aldi's like 10 to 15 minutes away from where I live. So okay, it's not that bad. Yeah. I personally really like Aldi's, but even them. Do you have an Aldi's in your area? Yeah, we do. Do you shop there? Does yours have self-checkout now? Because mine has self-checkout. It does. Okay, I was wondering if it was all of them or just certain amount of them. I don't know how I feel about that because it's also one of the things where they're like, taking jobs away from us. I mean, I don't know about your Aldi's, but mine already barely really had like registers, like cashiers. It was usually only one person. If they needed backup, the people from the floor would come and help like with backup. But now it's really just one person at a register and the rest are self-checkout and maybe one extra one in case it gets too busy. I just thought that was interesting though.
Actually, now that I think about it, you're right. They'd always keep, at least for like the one that's closer to me, they always have like the one all the way in the corner open where you can do like returns or whatever. And then it's like the self-checkout, like you have a associate just monitoring the self-checkout area. But yeah, other than that, the registers are closed.
Yeah, like the person who was at the only open register is also manning the self-checkout, at least at my Aldi's.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's quite interesting though, because Aldi's is already like a really tiny space as it is for like a grocery store. And then, yeah. But I wonder if they compensate for that by putting more people in the back or like doing the floor.
See, I don't know. And I almost, before I got my job at the call center, applied to work there. And I know I got an interview, but then it was one of those things where like I had the interview, I thought it was going well. And then I didn't hear back from like 2 months. And then 2 months later, when I got a job, they're like, oh, we denied your application. Well, obviously, I figured that after 2 weeks, maybe the 1 week that I didn't get hired. I hate when they do that.
Yeah. At least be upfront. Like when I was applying for like teaching jobs, the principal would be like, if you don't hear back from us within like a week or so, then just assume that you did not get the job.
Just assume you didn't get it.
Yeah.
But don't like contact me 3 months later telling me I didn't get it. I'm like, obviously.
It's like, yeah.
Especially when it's jobs like retail or something like that. Like the turnover rates are pretty high. So if I didn't hear back within a week, then I know I didn't get it.
It's actually really crazy in Orlando because like my mom and I, where did we go? We went to a Home Gardens, I think it was. Do you know the store Home Gardens?
Home Gardens? No, I know.
It's typically like attached to like a TJ Maxx.
That's called Home Goods.
I'm sorry, not Home Gardens.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I know a Home Goods. I don't know a Home Gardens.
My mind is everywhere today. Sorry.
We both are. Should we be recording today? Because we seem to both be a little delusional.
Right. It's called
delirious.
It's Delulu nowadays. That's the term.
What is that thing I keep seeing on TikTok? Something about being Delulu. I can't recite it because I can't think of it right now, but it's been funny. I understand to a certain extent.
Yeah. Where was I going with this? Oh.
I don't know. Where were you going?
Oh, yeah. So we went to Home Goods last week. And like right as you like get in through the automatic doors, there's like this little stand. And on it is like, if you're looking for like a job or an interview, just contact one of the associates for like an immediate interview for hire. And I'm like, wow.
Oh, interesting.
That was the first time I've ever seen that. I'm like, they must be desperate for like employees.
Have to be. Not even the manager, just like the associates?
Yeah, it's like just contact an associate. Well, to get a manager to do the interview.
To get a manager. Yeah. Okay. That's still interesting though.
Yeah.
Because usually, especially like when I worked retail and people would come in, you know, looking for jobs, it was at the point where we just tell them to go online because no one takes paper applications anymore.
But I don't know, like the whole job scene here has been pretty interesting because you still have like Dunkin' Donuts putting out, oh, we're hiring signs, $11 plus tips, which by the way, what is the minimum wage for Florida right now? I think it is 11.
I think is it 11? Because I was still under the impression it's still 10.
No, I think it is 11. Let me double check.
I know they've been slowly increasing it to try to get it to 15, if I'm correct.
My bad. It's 12.
Oh, is it 12 now?
Effective September 30th. So currently it's 11, but by the end of the month, it'll be 12.
Okay. See, that's why I hate restaurants. And that's why last time we talked about getting rid of tipping culture, because they can still start it under the minimum wage and make up for it with the tips.
But I'm just thinking, how would you tip a Dunkin' Donuts worker? Like, what are you tipping them for?
They'd always have like a bowl at the front. Like if the service was good, if they were just really nice. And then I think even the people at the front also make the stuff. So.
But do they really make the stuff though?
Yes. Have you never gone inside a Dunkin' Donuts before, Nafees?
I have. But sometimes, like, the food just never seems fresh to me, so I don't know, I guess.
No, I'm not talking about the food. Yes, the food most of the time is, like, frozen and they just, like, heat it up or warm it up. I'm mostly talking about the coffee.
Oh.
They make the coffee.
Yeah.
They don't make the food.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I meant.
Mm. But yeah, it's just been like really crazy as far as like jobs are concerned because nobody wants to do retail and people most definitely want to do fast food.
I don't blame them because people are assholes.
Yeah.
If people didn't treat service workers as terrible, I'm sure like people wanting to work these jobs wouldn't be as bad. Not even just customers treating them badly, but also bad management. And when you have both of those together in a place, that's just,
Yeah.
what is it? Toxic work environment, detrimental to your mental health. Like,
honestly, I feel like it doesn't even matter if like the customers or whatever are like nasty. I think it's like very, very important though, like your team that you work with are like solid because good coworkers, I promise you, make the day so much better.
yeah, I'm like that too. I was like that at my first like actual real job at Kohl's, which is a retail store if no one knows. I mean, my coworkers were really cool, especially my one manager. But when my one like really awesome manager left, that's when I knew it was going. I needed to bounce, and I always said that to him too. I was like, Matt, you know, the one day you leave or get transferred, a majority of us are probably going to leave,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what happened. It is exactly what happened. I also put in my application to go to school at the right time because the only reason I left that job was to go
To school.
to college.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and then that was kind of like the call center too. I mean, both was just stressful. And my coworkers were fine, but it was just like the management that really made me leave, especially when I kept asking to like get more hours for money. And they kept saying they're going to and then didn't. But it was just like other stuff too. Like when any of us had like a complaint about how we're doing things and try to put in suggestions to make things better and easier for all of us, like they wouldn't listen to us.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too. It's not only just like cool like coworkers, it's also just like management because you can only trauma bond with your coworkers at work to a certain extent. And either way, whether it's with the customers or with management. So my dad did also mention last week, he made a comment where he said I seem a lot more relaxed with my new position.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
It's not a position I want forever because it's really that simple. I would really like to get out of healthcare. See, if anyone doesn't realize this is a ramble episode, but it's funny because Brianna, who we've had on the show before that we're trying to get on the show, she had tweeted about like not knowing if she just hates working in general or just, what did she say? Something about work. Like, does she hate working or does she hate? I'm going to try to find it because it was interesting. And I replied back and I'm like, I think I just hate like working, but I also really just need to get a job out of like any type of customer or guest service.
Yeah.
But that's also hard because those type of jobs, you need like 10 different qualifications. And like I just said, I'm not tech savvy.
You need to have 3 years of experience right out of college. How are you going to do that?
Which is not realistic. And I really wish these freaking boomers would understand that. It's not like their time where they can just get out of college and go get a job and then work their way up. It's not like that anymore. We keep telling them that.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's at a point where those people that moved up can't even afford to retire because things are so goddamn expensive.
Yes.
So we're all stuck here. Instead of playing the blame game, let's try to find a way to help each other out.
Yeah. At my school, it's so sad, but like the custodial like staff, many of them are like elderly people. I'm going to say elderly because they definitely are elderly. Like
No,
they when you look at them, they look like they need to be retired, but they're out here working and I'm just like, "Oh my goodness."
I don't think I've ever been to any type of school where the custodial was not anyone
Older,
younger than 50.
Yeah. And it's like, sir, ma'am, why are you working? Go break.
Because they can't. Because they can't afford to retire.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of their Social Security as well. So it's like,
look, if they get rid of they better not, because that's a huge chunk out of my paycheck. I want that back.
Listen, girl, again, I don't really get into politics, but they've, especially one side, been talking about that for a long time. I found the tweet. So she had said, I really just think I hate working. I know that's not an unpopular opinion, but like, damn, I straight up in all caps hate working. And then I told her, I was like, felt that in my soul. No matter how many times I switch jobs, I end up hating it months later. I just hate working, period. But like, we also need money to survive.
Yeah.
And then that's when I told her, it was like, as I told you, I think I just need to get out of customer service jobs, but I don't know where to start with my lack of experience because people don't like to hire you if you don't have experience. But how am I going to get experience if you don't let me work to gain the experience? You guys see how like round in a circle that sounds? When you say it out loud, it don't make sense, but that's the messed up system we live in. Right. So what am I going to do about it?
What type of job are you looking for?
And that's the thing. I also don't know either. Right now, I'm just chilling and working what I do because it's so easy. I am basically just like an operator at this point, and I'm just chilling most of the time, trying to study up on my Korean, go on my TikTok, all that good
How much
stuff.
do they pay you an hour?
I had to take a pay cut from the call center, so it's $16.25.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually still not bad, though.
No, it's not. And I'm sure it'll go up if I'm still there by next year because at that place you get a raise every year. However, I don't know.
How much was the call center paying you?
Well, when I started, it was $16, but then my year it went up to $16.50. And I don't know with this new position because I'm still in the same company. So I don't know if my year is going to be when I started the call center, which was in January, or when I got this new position, which was back in May. I have a feeling it might be in May. We will see. But
okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, actually, it's not that big of a pay cut then. It's just a few.
It was like 25 cents, but my hours also got cut a little bit. And also with the call center, because I had worked weekends sometimes, and at a certain time, when you work after 7, you got like time and a half. Oh. So that was making my paychecks seem more. So that's the only reason why I lost some money. Like I know it went down about $100 realistically because I don't work weekends anymore or after 7 p.m.
But you make up for that by being more relaxed though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Like I have to sacrifice my mental health or money.
Welcome to the club, girl. Welcome to the club.
Adulting.
But I know as much as I complain about like teaching and stuff, I feel like teaching is a pretty solid gig if you're just trying to like, get yourself situated. Because 1, you get all the benefits for full time. 2, you get every single holiday off. But the one downfall is like, if you know you're not a kids person, then it might not be for you.
And I'm not a kids person. Yeah. So, as we have said many, many, many times.
And the thing is, you need to have a lot of patience and a lot of understanding, especially when you're trying to teach the younger ones. When I mean younger, I mean, younger. Because like so far, I told you, like I've only taught seniors and 4th grade I taught 4th grade before the pandemic, and that was a blast. Love the kids, could be better students, but yeah, it just requires a lot of patience in general. 12th graders was better, but in a sense, it's like a different type of patience. Like great kids, they'll listen to you, but like trying to get them to turn and work is like trying to pull teeth. Like, oh my goodness. But
I was also going to ask you because I think for me anyway, I just don't think I'm good at like teaching. That does take a skill that people don't realize. Besides the kids, I'm not sure how I would deal with the parents, especially if you have an unruly kid and has one of those parents that sees that they can do no wrong and blames you for their behavior. I don't know if I'd be able to handle that.
So I think I'm very fortunate because the school that I work at, the support system as far as regarding that particular concern is like quite strong because like they're not quick to blame the teacher for things because they know that the background the kids come from, like it's pretty obvious, like there could be situations like that. But typically, this is actually the first year where I've actually interacted with parents more often just because a lot of these kids have ADHD and they like need their meds and things like that. Because I saw what they were like without their meds, and I actually had to contact a parent and just tell them like your child is not sitting down. Like the only thing left for them to do is just bounce off the walls. Like that's how crazy it's been. But no, the parents have been very, very open. They've been very good about it. They're like, okay, just keep me updated if you have any issues with the kid. I'll talk to him regarding this, and that. So no issues there. But again, it really just depends on the community that you're teaching in and the school that you're teaching in, because I know it's different if you go to like a private school or if you go to like a public school in a much more diverse area. So,
because I think that was something Brianna used to tell us too, because she taught more in a private school, so she would get that a lot.
She always had issues with parents because of like the student teacher dynamic and all that.
And the type of school that she taught in was one of those more like prestigious type schools.
Exactly. But at least I'm grateful for where I am. Yeah, it's not this. I'm not teaching the same grade, but I guess it's better in a way because I can actually discipline them and they'll actually take it seriously. Like if I tell them to put their phones away, which by the way is now like a district wide rule. Like the kids cannot have their phones out from the start of school until the end. Like at any point throughout the day, they cannot have it out.
Not even during like lunch?
Or headphones. Headphones is more based off of the teacher's discretion, but like cell phones for sure cannot be out.
I'm going to be so honest. I know cell phones can be distracting, and maybe, again, this is coming from someone who does not have children or work at a school. I don't know how I feel about that, especially as we've seen through the recent years of things that have been happening at schools. And yes, I am talking about school shootings. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know how comfortable I feel to not have at least one child to have their phones in case, not even just to call their parents.
No, they can have it. They just can't have it out. Like it can be in their bag and stuff.
Oh, so it can be on them? They don't have to put it somewhere no. Like where they can't reach it?
No. They can have it on them. It just cannot be out visibly.
Okay, so I will retract that then because I thought like you guys were physically taking the phones away from the kids.
You would have heard about it on the news for sure if that was the case.
Are you sure? Because sometimes they don't be reporting about everything. So
they had a whole petition on Instagram and like a good 3,000 kids and parents have signed it. Because of the no phone policy.
About not taking their phones away or?
Yeah, about like having the phones being put away throughout the entire day.
I mean, I understand that as well, too, because it's like, what if a parent needs to contact their kid in case like an emergency?
They can do it the old school way and contact the front office, which is honestly because I get that perspective where like, okay, the parent needs to reach their child like in an emergency, but like that happens often, like a lot, where the parent is the one texting the kid in the middle of class and the kid has to answer it in the middle of class. And they'll say it's an emergency, but it's not really an emergency. It's like, oh, can you bring my uniform for after school and things like that. But like, it becomes really distracting when you're trying to teach.
I understand that.
So it's like, just go to the front office, please. They'll let you talk to your kid, I promise.
Okay. I mean, that makes me feel a little bit better now. So
yeah.
I was thinking it was something else. But that's why I was like, maybe it's because I don't work at a school or with children. So I don't really know. But now that you cleared that up for me, it's not too bad.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even I wouldn't have agreed with it if they were like not allowed to have it on them. Because like, that's dangerous. Anything can happen, especially nowadays. So, and like, I'm always paranoid too because I'm not even in the same classroom. Like, the building that I'm in, the classroom that I am, the door doesn't even lock properly and it doesn't have like a window. And like, so
what's with it's like, what is with all these places be putting people in like windowless, only one exit facilities?
Right. No, like I have like a window that looks out into the road, but like the door itself has to have a window. Mine does not have a window. So if I open the door, I don't really know who I'm opening the door to.
That's scary and unsafe.
That is scary and it is unsafe. And I told them before school started, I would really like this fixed. Has that happened?
No, because everyone takes like the longest time to do anything. Like me and my coworker this past week when we came back from Labor Day weekend, we've been fighting with IT because our phones aren't working.
Yeah.
And the coworker who's not there, his phone's only been working. So we've been having to get up when the phone rings and answer her phone so we can do our jobs, but we haven't been able to do other aspects of our jobs. And it's basically like every time we call IT, it's just not of an importance. So it's like, glad to know you're doing your job.
And it's like, I understand you have like 50 million things to do on a school campus. I get that. But like, this is a safety concern, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't really just ignore it. And they did come for like, because at first, my door was not even locking. And so I had like 5 different people try it because if I say the door's not locking and when they come, it locks, I look like a liar. So you kind of have to protect. It's so much politics for really stupid things.
Yeah, I know.
And so like I had the security guard try it. And then I had the lady who gave me the keys try it. And then they're like, oh, no, yeah, you actually have to get this fixed. And so the guy that came to fix it, he's like, oh, yeah, the barrel was messed up or something. So they changed it, but it's still happening. So I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, I'll be sending a follow-up email because it's been a little bit more than a month now. So there's really no reason for them to say, oh, yeah, we're busy, blah, blah, blah. Because, I mean, you'll always be busy, you know?
But that also can go with our continuation of, like, countrywide of being short-staffed. So I don't know if your school's having a short staffing issue or not. I know with us, like when I was talking about the phones, the IT is, so.
Here's the thing, Simone. When you work for a district, you're not poor. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can send people to work on the roof. You can send people to work on this, and that, but you can't find anyone to fix a door.
Being poor doesn't have to deal with the short staffing. It has
No, I'm
to...
saying they can outsource their needs, is what I'm saying.
Right, but if they outsource other places and those places are also short staffed, that doesn't really have to do with being poor.
Well, yeah, not every place is going to be short staffed, though.
A lot of them are, though. Not every place, but a majority of them are.
I don't buy it. There's a lot of businesses here that they can reach out to. I don't. And especially if it's for a school related thing, and if you pay them well, I'm pretty sure they'll make time.
I also don't know how that works as far as, like you were saying, the politics of it, as far as like who they can reach out to and who they can. Is there certain type of contracts? Like,
there could be like a contract.
The people
thing.
they reach out to don't work out to where they can't work for them, things like that.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes I'm trying to get better at not talking about or ranting about stuff so much, especially if I'm not that knowledgeable, because there's so much that goes into like the littlest things that we see that we don't know about. So I really don't know. I know it's annoying, but at the same time,
I get what you're saying, but like, it's not. What I'm trying to say is it's not hard to find somebody to do a job if it needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true too, because like we say, there's so many people that want to be working, and why won't they let them work? Who freaking knows?
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't get it. I mean, I do.
But I'm complaining about my specific example, though, not in general.
I know.
Yeah, but
I do hope you get your door fixed.
I do too. It's such a stupid thing, right, to be ranting about. It's just like, you would think like that's one of the first things you would check before you assign somebody a room, but I guess not.
No. I mean, other than that, though, have you been okay? So as far as good?
Yeah, I've been okay. And I've been thinking that maybe I might leave teaching too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not because I don't like it. It's just because like I've been telling you, I don't know if I've told you or not, but like I've always wanted to do medicine. And so just switch back to that.
I think you went to school for that, right?
Yeah, I originally went to school for that, but then because of the pandemic and everything, I switched over to teaching because that was like the quickest way to get a full-time job.
Yeah, because I thought you were studying for that when I met you.
Yeah,
correct?
I was studying for that. I still am studying for that. So yeah, I kind of want to switch back to that. And I just feel like the more I lean into this, the less I'll be able to do that. If that makes sense.
No, it does. It's just kind of ironic because weren't you just saying like not even a couple of minutes ago, even in this episode, in this recording, how much you love teaching?
I do. But it wasn't something I wanted to do like immediately. I wanted to do it like after I became established and all that.
I get that.
Yeah. But like, it's not like I'll completely leave it. Like I'll probably do like what I actually really want to do is online teaching because I really liked that back when we first had to do it in COVID. Because you don't have to deal with the shenanigans of a classroom and you can just focus on teaching. So if that possibility does exist for me, I would like to do that. If not, I might just work for another year or two and then like slowly shift back.
I mean, I'm sure you can find something, especially with online teaching. And that'd be really cool. Like if you get your degree too, and when you get your, I guess, experience in your field, it'd be good for like colleges, depending on what you study for. Like you could teach an online class in colleges.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you? I teach ESOL now.
I don't know what that is.
English.
Oh.
Yeah. So
weren't you teaching physics last year?
I taught physics last year. This year I'm teaching environmental science in the daytime. And then in the afternoons, I'm teaching ESOL or like English to intermediate like adult students at the technical college.
Oh, okay. Interesting. How's that going for you?
I love it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think actually if I stick with teaching, I might just do adults, like teach in like a college setting.
What is your like range as far as like the background of the people? Like what is their
they're mostly Hispanic and Asian. Yeah.
Oh, Asian. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting the Hispanic, but
yeah, it's Asian and Hispanic people mostly. I have one person.
You saying Haitian?
Yeah, Haitian with an H.
I heard Asian.
I have one
so
Asian.
I was like, what?
I have one Chinese person. And then
okay, so Hispanic, Haitian.
Yeah, and
you're one Chinese student.
One Chinese student, and then I have another one from, where's he from? Yugoslavia, somewhere like that, in that region.
That's like somewhere in like Europe near Russia, right?
Yeah, it's like in that region. I forgot the name of his country. But yeah, so they're the two outliers, but it's still relatively diverse.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, but you know what really shocked me though is that a lot of the Haitian people can also speak Spanish. I'm like, wow.
I thought in Haitian it was French, no?
Yes,
or am I thinking
yes. It's their language is more French based. It is French based.
Yeah.
But it shocked me because a lot of them speak Spanish very fluently, and I'm like, oh wow.
I don't think their countries get along, but aren't they neighbors with the Dominican Republic? What does the Dominican Republic speak? Is that not
That
Spanish?
is Spanish, yeah.
Okay. So that would make sense.
I suppose, but I don't know. I guess in my mind, I just felt like they only spoke Creole, or Haitian Creole, yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure the United States is the only country where if you're born here, you only speak English. I am pretty sure everywhere else you would speak at least two languages. One of them could be English, but it's at least two of something.
Right. And the thing is, like, these students are like very, very smart because they were either like a policeman back in their place or they were just doing something and they came here. And now the only barrier for them really is just the language. Other than that, like they have the credentials and everything. So it's like really, it's kind of inspiring. I'm not even going to lie. It's like if they can work that hard after a long day and come to school to actually learn and actually pay attention and do the work, it's like, what am I doing with my life? Like you really are forced to think about it. Like it's so, so amazing.
I mean, everyone's life is different, so try not to compare too much.
And not only that, they go right back to work after they finish like at the school. I'm like, hats off to you.
Yeah.
Hats off to you. So that just shows you like if you have the motivation to learn and do what you need to do, you can do it. Oh wow.
Motivation and will.
Yeah. Willpower. I think willpower more than anything.
Yeah. I want to say resources too, but I'm not really sure about that. Because resources, as far as like privilege to access of resources, does help. But I mean, there's also been stories where people, like we're saying, if you have the willpower enough to find those resources or use the lack of resources they have to work with what they're given. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't speak for every student situation, but I know for the ones in my class, like in the evenings, like they really are pushing every minute of the day. And I had one student tell me the other day that he's working 2 full-time jobs.
How do you do that?
I asked him the same thing. I'm like, how are you doing this? He's like, I'm not getting any sleep. I'm like, naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally. So yeah, like, so this is basically his schedule. He starts at 9 a.m., comes back at 7, right? And then his night job starts at 9 p.m. or like 10 p.m. and he works till 7 in the morning. I'm like, sir, I understand you need to work, but like you also have to take care of yourself. And like, because if you are not healthy, they're not going to care. They're just going to find somebody else. He's like, yeah, I know. It's not going to be a long-term thing, but just for now. I'm like, yeah, health comes first though. Because money is good, but that health.
Yeah, I see what he means by no sleeping. He barely even has time to do 4 hours.
Yeah.
That in between is not even long enough to get like a good nap in.
Yeah. Because the thing was, he used to be like present like every day. And then he just recently stopped coming every now and then. So the classes are like 3 days a week. So he'd show up like 2 or maybe 1. And so like one of the students asked him and I kind of like popped in on the conversation. And then that's when he just told me like his schedule. I'm like, that is crazy. That is crazy.
I wish people didn't have to work like that to survive though.
I know. And I'm like, this is so sad.
It's greedy ass corporations. Do we want to talk about what we initially was going to talk about this episode? We rambled for a very, very long time. I know this whole concept is to ramble, but yeah.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
You're the one who asked me.
I mean, if we get to it, we can get to it. But like,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to it now since I brought it up. So
actually, yeah, since we're talking about working.
Yes, because I was shocked. Just to let y'all know, I'm exposing Nafees a little bit. I'm usually the first one to contact her about episodes and recording. And this time, maybe because I was a little MIA because I was busy myself, she contacted me. So I was like, what? Am I in an alternate universe? No, I'm joking. But yes,
I was actually
Nafees
going to
wanted to
comment. I'm like,
continue.
look how the tables have turned for this weekend.
They have. So she wanted to talk about what I've been ranting about the past since it started. Actually, I think I've been talking about what's been happening with the writers even before they officially went on strike.
You have.
Yeah.
But you always did a good job of containing yourself, I guess I could say. Because you'll like touch on it, but then you wouldn't like go full into like what was actually going on.
Because I mean, things were still happening. And like I said myself, I'm still trying to research what's happening just so I can keep up. I'm gonna just go ahead and say this now too before we get too into the topic. I think the reason I wasn't contacting you as well is because a lot of our contact now has to do with like reviewing TV shows and movies.
Oh yeah.
And like I know we do mainly international shows and like mainly Korean ones because we have tried to do ones like from American, which don't get that much listens surprisingly.
Really?
I don't even think our Falling Christmas one that we did last year is even at like 10 listens. So
I had a feeling that wouldn't get much though for some reason. I just knew.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, in general, I know it's like international content, but like, I don't want to feel like I'm still doing this and like disrespecting in a way the writers and actors, like, not wishes, but like for people to, at least the public, to take them seriously. So, like, the corporations, I mean, they have their own greed to get by for that, but to also take them seriously in their demands. But we also don't make like money from this. We're not paid by like any sponsorships or like corporations,
Right.
so we wouldn't be scabbing. I know you don't know what scabbing means. Scabbing basically means like crossing the picket line, and by crossing the picket line is like taking payment for any type of entertainment like content. So like doing any type of promotions. If we were like influencers, because that's what a lot of influencers right now are getting in trouble with, like signing up to like do any type of production work since you're not part of the union, so like you don't have to follow the union rules, things like that. So I don't know, I've been conflicting internally on that for the past 2 weeks, actually probably since our last episode.
Oh.
So I know we're small, like I said. Thank you for the people who also listen to us. I'm going to say that. Also, I don't think the feast knows this, but thank you to whoever rated us some stars on Spotify and Apple Music. It's only 2 stars, but it made me cry a little. I'm like, oh, people actually really are listening to us. They gave us 5 stars, so we appreciate it.
Thank you all so much.
But yes, because I want to stand in solidarity with them.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I wanted to do this. And another thing, too, because I don't think you listen to our episodes, do you?
Not really.
Yeah, you don't. Of course you don't. It's fine, though. I did a PSA on the very last one. I don't know if you remember this, but you had brought up at the beginning why they won't just look for other jobs. Mm-hmm. And I had a hard time like answering you. So like when I was editing back, I kind of answered you. I don't want to say it that question triggered me, but it did bring up something in me because I had always heard that as a kid. As I've expressed many times, I used to want to work as in this industry, whether it was like a writer, an actor, and director. So like, you know, when you go a majority of your life not even really living in the cities where like that accessibility to get into that industry is that easily accessed, and like being told, I mean, that's fine for now, but make sure like when you get older, get realistic and like look for a real job, kind of did something to me.
Oh, like what is the definition of real in this sense?
Yeah, or just like a job. Because I mean, I really hate how people downplay what they do. They're doing work and getting compensation for that. Is that not the definition of a job?
It is.
Exactly. So why do people keep saying what they do is not a job? Not just you, but...
Is that what I said? Or did I say, why aren't they looking for a different job?
You asked why aren't they looking for a different job, but I had also brought up, well, I don't know if I told you this, but even while they were working before the strike, many of them do have second or third jobs to survive. So a lot of them are doing jobs like we're doing, like the retail, grocery shopping, Uber, whatever you can think of. I just lost my train of thought.
You were talking about real jobs, like why people ask why they don't do it.
Oh, yes. But it's also hard because I don't know if you know how many people work in these industries, but say it's like roughly 100,000 people. It's not possible or realistic for like those 100,000 of people to find other jobs in like the 2 or 3 months that they're waiting.
So are they all in California? All these writers?
California and New York.
Okay, that's where the majority of them are.
There's an East Coast Writers Guild and there's a West Coast Writers Guild. I think California though is just taking hits because that's technically. Oh, and I think Atlanta too, because Atlanta over the past couple of years have became a hotspot for like filming movies and TV shows. But I know since LA, since like the beginning of Hollywood, was always like the main base, and they're taking the biggest hit because that's where all the major like corporations and studios are. And then, like I told you last episode, it's not just the actors and writers that are on strike currently. I'm pretty sure like hotel workers are still on strike. There was other strikes that were happening too that had to deal with just like city work, like sewage work or like housing work, things like that.
There was another one.
Yes, and then I know when I complain about animation, the voice actors are trying to get some type of union so they can go on strike because they're also underpaid and underrepresented. The VFX people that make like special effects for movies, like think like Marvel movies and all that, they are trying to get an authorization to go on strike because they are also very underpaid. It's just no one is paying these people.
Who would they get authorization from?
I don't know how that works. I think they have to put in like legal. I don't really know what authorization means. I think they have to like put in legal reasoning to like the government of why they should be a union. So they need to form a union first.
Like
and when they form the union, because they don't have a union right now. They're trying to
like a legitimate reason of why you think you need one. Like you need that type of protection.
Yes.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yes, why you need that type of protection. So first they're trying to at least just build a union. And once they get the union, then they can go on strike.
Oh, no, but I'm glad you brought that up because with that question, I wasn't trying to like offset what they were trying to do.
Yeah, and I know you weren't. I said that too.
I guess like what I was trying to say was like, while all of this is happening, I think my point was like if they were doing a different job, it would kind of send a message that these corporations are not as important without them. So like basically just to show like they'll be fine whether the corporation exists or not. Does that make sense?
It does, but
it's like it's a long shot type thing. But like, yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna be so fucking honest. I think a lot of these CEOs' heads are still up far their asses. They can't see that because they're still trying to find ways to not pay these people, as we know from the CEO.
No, Warner Bros. Has seen it because I was reading an article, and apparently they lost like because of the strike. They lost. They normally make like 800 million. Let me go to the website actually, so I'm not misquoting.
I think I know what you're talking about.
So according to CNN.com, Warner Bros. Discovery says actors and writers strikes will cost up to $500 million this year. So they already lost 300 million.
Okay.
So they do see that it's a problem, but what they're doing,
nothing.
Yeah.
It has been announced that Disney and Hulu are literally raising their prices again.
What?
With no new content. Did you not know that Disney Plus is going, I think, $17.99? Let me search this up because that's been the talk this whole week. Not only that, I don't know what cable. Do you have cable?
No. I haven't had cable in like years.
Well, because of the apartment complex we live in, and just because my dad, I'm not trying to call him old, but he still likes his cable. Let's say it like that. So we have Spectrum. Have you not heard that Disney has pulled their programming from Spectrum?
No.
They pulled ABC. They pulled ESPN. I don't even know if Disney's on Spectrum anymore. I don't turn on the Spectrum app to see. I wouldn't be surprised if the Disney Channel's not on there anymore because they were trying to raise prices.
So what is on cable?
I mean, everything else, like Nickelodeon. I'm just talking about what Disney owns. They have pulled their programming from.
So that means National Geographic is probably not on there either.
You know what? I actually don't know. I would have to check. Because, Disney owns basically everything now.
Yeah, they have their own National Geographic on Disney Plus, so I wouldn't be surprised if that.
Wanted to give an update because we recorded this a while ago. So all the channels that I had said were off of Spectrum, like ESPN and ABC are back on Spectrum. Why? Because I think they realized they were way too dumb to try to take these programs away, especially before the start of football season. And everybody knows, even if you don't live in America, how important football season is to some of these people. So they straightened up and put them back on Spectrum. They really tried it. They must have came to some agreement. I don't think the prices went up like Disney was trying. But yeah, that was a very interesting week or two. It was off.
Listen, all I'm trying to say is remember all those times I tried to hold back to talk about why I always thought Disney was so evil? Most of it was coming from because we reside in Florida and I grew up in Florida. So I have been around Disney World and just the experience that I know of Disney World, especially when I went to the college I went to, and a lot of the students I worked with work for Disney.
Or Universal.
Or just the theme parks in general. But I'm mostly talking about Disney because people talk about Disney.
Yeah.
And the way people are finally starting to wake up. It's just been making me happy, okay? It's just been making me happy.
Oh my goodness. How will that affect Marvel then? Because a lot of Marvel movies are on there too.
On what?
Disney Plus and all that.
Well, I'm talking about cable right now. I'm not talking about the app.
But I'm just saying, in general, I wonder how that would play out with that franchise.
I'm sure just like every other franchise. Not good right now. Hang on, I'm taking this pause because I'm trying to look this up for you so I can tell you the correct amount. And this is for people who pay the subscriptions to not have ads. I don't think this affects the people that have ads.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yes. So Hulu is to increase the price to $17.99 and Disney Plus to increase the price to $13.99 starting October 12th.
This is for no ads.
Yes.
But with ads, it's the same?
I believe so, and I pay with ads, but the whole point of when streaming started to become big was to be able to watch content without ads. Yeah. And people paid extra money to watch content without ads. Now they're putting ads in and making it the prices, increase for the people trying not to have ads.
So how would that be different from cable then? If I'm watching an
Exactly. That is the whole point.
Yeah.
That is the whole freaking point. Because not only that, they're getting desperate. They're starting to pull content from other streaming services to other streaming services. A great example, I like the show Insecure by Issa Rae. For the longest time, that was a HBO original. And since they changed to Max and Max original, now it's on Netflix. So that's what I mean. Shows that used to be exclusively on one platform, they're now distributing it to other platforms to try to make up that money.
Yeah.
For the CEOs, not for the writers or the actors, because they're not seeing any of that payment.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they passed and this is the longest running one since 1980 something.
Was there another strike in 1980s?
There were two, I think.
Because I know, at least our generation, we all know about the one with the writers that happened in 2007, 2008 before the recession, but it didn't go past 100 days. And this is not the first time, but this is the second time writers and actors have been on strike. But I don't remember the year. What year was Ronald Reagan in office?
I want to say 1980s, but I could be wrong.
That was the 80s?
I think so.
So that was probably the last time they both went on strike together, because apparently Ronald Reagan used to be in the actors union. I didn't know he used to be an actor.
Yeah, so the longest writer's strike of all time lasted 154 days and took place in 1988.
Okay. Because he was the president, apparently, of the SAG-AFTRA during that one.
Yeah, apparently in that one, people lost their homes because of how long it took, and it cost the industry $500 million.
I mean, that's what they're trying to do now. That's what Bob Iger had said, to bleed them out until they lose their homes. And I think some of them are saying it's getting to the point now to where they're in financial trouble, which I know there is a fund for them that some actors that are A-list have put in. it's the least they can do to help people to get them to that status.
Yeah.
But
That's wow.
especially for the medical, because remember how last time I was telling you about the medical, like a lot of them don't make the minimum for that. So a lot of people's health insurance are in trouble also.
Yeah.
And I think in California, I was reading up, they're trying to either get a law passed or something passed to help them to where, because of the strike, they can build some type of like medical fund. Kind of like if you're like on unemployment. I think they're trying to get something like that. As far as I know, only in California for writers and actors who are going to lose their health insurance or don't have health insurance, so they can still have it while they're on strike. I don't know how that's going. I just remember hearing something about that.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, like you were saying, social media influencers, from what I'm reading on Forbes.com, they're also being affected too. Like if they accept work from SAG-AFTRA, like
SAG-AFTRA, that's how you can pronounce
SAG-AFTRA.
it.
If they accept work from like blacklisted studios or streaming services during the strike, they will also be like affected too.
Yeah, because I mean, that's not a good look, especially once the strike's over. And if you're trying to become an established actor, a majority of them are in the union.
Yeah.
So no one's going to want to work with you if they know you went against the union. And even some people in the union have been like kind of showing out. Like I don't know if you ever used to watch the CW show Arrow.
Yeah.
The main actor on there, Stephen Amell, was in some hot water because he was basically saying how he was in because the vote to go on strike was almost unanimous. It was like 97%. And it seems like he was probably in that 3% that didn't want to go on strike. And he was at like a Comic-Con basically complaining about that, like why they're on strike, or like just because they're on strike, why he's not allowed to promote anything, basically being a white man and being a baby and like, I can't get my way, so I need to complain.
Yeah.
But they got him real quick because his publicist told him to go show up to one of the picket lines, and he was there. He did not look happy though. But someone told him, you need to shut your mouth if you ever want to keep working in this business.
Right. That's funny. You were just talking about Disney. So apparently the CEO of Disney reacted to the news of like the Oppenheimer cast walking out during the premiere in the UK. He was like, writers and...
It was Oppenheimer. Okay, I didn't know if it was Oppenheimer or Barbie.
According to this, it was Oppenheimer during the UK premiere.
Okay.
So basically, he was saying that the writers and actors were not being realistic with their expectations.
Expectations of what? Wanting to live?
Let's look up how much he makes.
It's like, I feel like I know, it's like 34 million.
Disney CEO salary.
And I could be understating that too. Or maybe it's 300 million.
So he earns $1 million a year, base salary. And apparently he also gets an incentive award of a target value of $25 million each year.
It's like, what do you... I will just never understand, and maybe because I don't grow up in the world, like, what is the point of hoarding all that wealth?
Right. And
again, what people keep saying, they're not even asking. The writers and actors are asking for like 0.3 of the portion that they make to be able to survive. Right. It would not hurt them in the long run.
No.
Of the millions that they make.
No, it would not.
They shouldn't be making that, in my opinion, but that's a conversation for another day.
I don't know, but like, according to... Apparently Warner Bros. Tried to reach some sort of deal with them by increasing the pay by 20% and all that, but I don't think they took the deal.
Yeah, one thing I will give the union up for is what they're asking for, they're really trying to stick with it. So I'm happy they're not trying to.
And honestly, good for them too, because like...
Exactly.
If they don't stick it out now, they probably will not take them seriously ever. And especially with AI, that's going to be sticking around for sure.
I am so glad you brought that up because I was about to get into another rant where like, I think I've said this before and it's getting more as I've kind of been getting more into music because I was never really a music head lately. Something about the music industry, when you really look into it, is just so dark-sided to where unless you're really in it, I don't think the public will understand but it's also so dark-sided to where it's easy for them to silence you compared to like if you're an actor or something. I think they also, if there's any way possible for them to try to get a union, they need to get on that and also go on strike, because there was a point where I guess like Grammy nominations are about to be revealed soon. And someone, I don't even know if it was revealed who did it, but someone had like put in an AI cover of Drake and The Weeknd, like for a Grammy, and they were considering like letting it be a nomination.
Really?
Like neither Drake nor The Weeknd sang it. It was an AI cover. I forgot what song or whose song it is originally. And they were almost about to let it until the CEO of the Grammys had to be like, we can't accept this. It was about to be like in consideration for a Grammy.
That is wild.
Yes.
The fact that the CEO had to step in and be like, guys, no, we cannot accept this.
Music, I don't know what y'all need to do. Y'all might need to go on strike. This is for American music. Honestly, too, this is for K-pop. Like, I'm just going to say it. K-pop needs to go on strike. I don't know how Korea works, how their law works, how easy it is to get unions. And this is why I keep saying I need kids to stop debuting as idol groups, because that's one reason they can get away with it, is because they're so young, they don't know better, and they're signing contracts they don't understand, especially depending on like their parents, even if they try to let them be idols out of love to let them follow their dreams, or if they're against it and cut off like contact with them completely. It's just a slippery slope. It's really easy to manipulate people when they don't know what they're getting into. I've said this before. That's kind of how like Megan, that's why she was having so much problems with her label until she was finally able to leave them. I'm also bringing this up because that whole case with that one girl group that was starting to get popular from that song Cupid 50/50, they had lost their case against their company and now they're basically stuck there. And then in my mind, I'm like, you know, these girls don't want to work here, regardless of anything that's coming out of like mistreatment and stuff. It is very obvious if they try to, if they try to countersue you, they do not want to work with you anymore. Why don't you just let them go? You're already in the process of trying to get a new girl group. Just focus on a new girl group, even though I'm terrified for those new girls that you might get. But just let these ones either go on about their career, either continuing as like idols, or just go back into the public. Like, they don't want to be there. Let them go. What is it benefiting you to holding them onto the contract, ruining their lives, having to pay you all these debts, and debts they're probably in from the legal fees they had to do from a case they just lost? Like, I don't get it. And it makes me so upset. Like, I feel so bad for them. And I know nothing about these girls.
It is sad. And I think their only song was that one, the Cupid song, right?
That one became popular. I believe they've had songs before, but that one really like put them on the map like that, especially because of TikTok. So, but they were still a fairly like new group. I don't think they were around more than like a year or two. So they were still very new.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's just like the continuation of like with New Jeans too. I was always worried about them. I like their music. But something about every time I see like them at fan signs and all I see are like grown ass men in their 30s and 40s, I really want to be like, please get away from these girls. Like, why are you here? Why are you here? You can't even use the excuse like my child likes them. Where's your child? It's you and 50 other grown ass men here. Where's your child? You should have brought your child here for them.
Yeah.
Stop being creepy.
Yeah, that is true.
Ugh.
Especially since they actually look their age, too.
The youngest is what? 15?
How old is the oldest?
I don't think any more than 18. I don't know that much about New Jeans. I still don't know all their names. I know none of them are older than 19, though. I think the oldest may be that one girl, Danielle. And she's either only just turned 18. I don't believe she's 19. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, at least they're doing well. I don't know. They're doing well, though.
I mean, yeah, that's good for them, but still, again, I don't know. And then now, since we're on the music thing, because I don't know what's happening with Hype. Like I said, no matter how much of a BTS fan I am, when it comes to corporations, I can still have my own opinions. And I know since they're trying to expand to like the American market and Hype America, I don't know what's going on with Scooter Braun. We all kind of side-eyed like when they announced he was going to be in charge of Hype America. Because when I was reading through some articles, it's like the reason they chose him was because of the clients he managed at the time, like Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, a few more, and they're all like leaving his management. And there's confusion of like, are they leaving because he's not being a manager of artists anymore and he's focusing on being the CEO of Hype America? So if he's the CEO, he can't like personally manage their careers, even though I don't know how well of a job he was doing. I don't think it was that great. Or are they leaving because some shit about him is about to come out?
I know he got into it big with Taylor Swift, where she had to redo all of her songs that she made with him.
Yeah. I mean, but Demi Lovato's also doing that too. If you haven't noticed, she's taking like a more rock, like ass with her music, but she's redoing old songs and just making them rock. But it's the fact that she's redoing them also makes me question, is she doing it for the payment thing as well, like Taylor Swift had to do?
Oh no. But at least we have like a common denominator, which is him. That is the problem.
Yeah. If it is him. Like if it's just him, I don't know. I don't know. It's just been interesting. I can't even get on here and try to talk about like BTS and get giddy, because that's probably going to set me on a whole nother rant. Just because I know online spaces and like real life be different. But every time I get online and just be seeing the way this fandom has been lately has been making me want to pull my hair out.
Oh, what happened lately? I haven't been following.
Girl, what hasn't happened lately? I don't even know where to start. I also don't know where to start because it's already just been talked about. So I don't know if I want to bring them up just for my own sanity. I mean, I could tell you recently, people won't leave Jungkook alone. Apparently he was in California. And I don't know if it's stalker fans or because, you know, our paparazzi and like the paparazzi culture is different here than like over in Korea. But people are getting on him because someone had recorded him outside smoking.
Really?
It's not, but it's like I said this last time we recorded, especially when it comes to entertainment. I think there's coming to a point where people are trying to push their moral compasses on celebrities too much to where they're trying to tell them what to do, or because, especially in K-pop, like, you know, the images they try to make like idols be, fabricate their personalities and stuff because they think they're what they're seeing on the camera screen. And if they see something that doesn't fit that image, they all get in a frenzy and telling them like they're not supposed to do this. This is not who you are. It's like, you don't know that. So whatever moral compass you have, if the people you were like quote unquote standing or like is not fitting that, I'm going to need you to just leave.
Yeah.
Like just stop being a fan. It is okay. You will survive. You can find other people that fit your moral compass to like.
Yeah. There are more conservative artists coming out. So like like you said, if this doesn't work for you, switch lanes.
There are plenty. There are plenty you can find. And I don't even mean that on like, if you like someone and you're going to like disagree on something that they do or not like something they do, that's fine. Like, I don't like smoking. I'm not going to tell Jungkook what to do with his body. He's
an adult. He knows what he needs to do.
He just turned 26. As we keep saying, let that man live. Like, leave him alone. Because it started with Tae, because Taeyong was the first one. And I think smoking is common in Korea.
I mean, they're about to like leave their work for a little bit to take a smoke break. So, yeah.
It's really only America, I think, where like they had the whole like non-smoking campaign. I'm not saying smoking is good for you. That is not what I'm saying at all. Again, it is your body. Do whatever the hell you want with it. Will I say I'm concerned for his health? Yes, because I care about him. But again, I am not going to try to use that as a manipulation tactic of what he should and should not do. Because that is not my place as someone who does not know him personally. And even if I did know him personally, unless I really thought he was getting to a point where like you need help, that is the only time I would say something. But again, I am not his mother. I'm not his girlfriend. I'm not his wife. I'm not his best friend. I have no place to tell him or any other member what the hell to do. And I wish more fans were like that. And that's just been my annoyance for like the past month. That and then the whole Namjoon thing, I really don't want to get into that. again.
Oh, where he posted the lyrics.
Okay, so you do know about that?
Yeah.
You are Muslim, correct? I never actually ever asked you.
Yeah.
I just want to know what your side of that is, because before you start talking, it's not his song. The song is 10 years old, and I've heard Frank Ocean himself, even when he performs it live, he doesn't say that part anymore. He has changed the lyrics because he listened to his fans. But it was also the hypocrisy of if we're keeping in the K-pop realm, other K-pop idols posting about that song. They're listening to that song literally like a couple months ago when he performed at Coachella. And that was another thing between like Blackpink fans and ARMYs, because Jisoo posted it on her story and how much she likes the song. The same song.
Oh. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I saw it and like, I didn't really think anything of it, because there's like this Korean Muslim YouTuber that posted a video about like what RM posted on Instagram. So I clicked on like, this is weird, because that YouTuber doesn't really get involved in K-pop like that. And so apparently the lyrics had something about like Allahu Akbar in it. And so he was kind of like explaining, like, I guess from RM, like he was trying to explain like that RM wasn't trying to offend anybody. He was just trying to explain the lyrics itself. And so I don't know. I clicked out of it midway, but I was not offended by it.
But that's the thing, though. He doesn't even talk about the song. He literally just posted a screenshot of the song, because he does that on his Instagram stories where he's recommending songs he's listening to for ARMY. So it's not even like he sung it. It's not even like it was his song. He's literally like, hey, this is a song I'm listening to. If you guys also want to listen to it,
here's where
enjoy.
I guess this is like the teacher in me that kind of like picks up on this. Context is very important, whether it's like, especially when you're trying to post something, right? So for example, if you're posting that set of lyrics, I guess maybe that wouldn't have been the best like lyrics to post. Maybe something before. But that's part of the chorus, right? Was that part of the chorus?
Well, see, I don't know, because I knew nothing about the lyrics until people started getting on him saying it was Islamic.
Islamophobic.
He literally just posted a screenshot of the cover art of the song name, and that's it. So unless you had went to listen to the song.
I think the post... okay, so he only posted the cover photo. He never posted the lyrics?
He literally only... Like, you know how the picture comes up if you're listening to the song? Like this, it just shows whatever cover art they want to use the artist's name. And like if you're using Spotify or Apple Music, that's literally all he posted. No lyrics, no like music of the song. That was it.
Okay.
So people were digging into and listening to the song.
So people actually went in and actually listened to it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That was the public themselves doing that.
Gotcha.
He literally just posted a picture.
So yeah, back to the YouTuber. So he was basically just explaining the lyrics and stuff. But like from my understanding of the lyrics, it just seemed like it was about somebody who was trying to find their way. But when they tried these different religions, it just wasn't working for them. Like, that's the perspective I got.
Yeah, that's what people were saying. Because I don't listen to Frank Ocean, so it's like, I wouldn't have known. But people were saying it's like about either unrequited. Am I saying that word right? Unrequired? No.
Unrequited. You had it right the first time.
Okay, unrequited love, or like also maybe his struggle, because, you know, Frank Ocean is a gay man. So like loving someone and maybe them not accepting like their own sexuality, and like Frank Ocean feeling played. The only part with that lyrics, from my understanding, is because he was saying his taxi driver was Muslim. So that's why he said that to him.
You know what? I'm actually going to look this up now, because I do not want to say the wrong thing. What is that song called? Frank Ocean?
That's fine.
I'll just type...
Was it Bad Religion, I think? It's called Bad Religion. No, it's called Bad Religion. This is why I want to get it. And like he did go on a V Live because someone was spamming like he needed to apologize. And like in English, he said he's not apologizing because that was not his intention to offend anybody. So, but that's just what I mean. Because no one would have been saying... This is my thing about like some fan culture. It's not even just with K-pop, but it's like in general. It's like a lot of people, unless that person, like artist, is being blatantly obvious about their views and like political views and talking about it, they will bring up things they may or may not do and use it like against them. I'm trying to figure out how to word this.
Okay, so I'm reading the lyrics now, and there's a few. I can understand why they got upset, because if you don't really read deeply into the lyrics, it can seem like it's talking about Islam by itself. Because one, it says bad religion as the title, and two, it's directly quoting Allahu Akbar. But my takeaway from this is, and I'm looking at the line that says, if it brings me to my knees, it's a bad religion. So that could be really any religion that involves prayer. So it's not just Islam. It could be Christianity. It could be Judaism.
Right.
Any religion that involves some sort of like movement in prayer.
Which I'm pretty sure is all of them, right?
I think so. Not sure.
I don't know either, and I don't want to be like...
But I know the monotheistic ones does involve moving, right? Because when you're Christian, you're on your knees and you're doing like the prayer thing. In Judaism, you have that, and also in Islam, you have that too. So those are all the bigger religions, correct?
Yes.
So I don't think it's necessarily Islamophobic, but I think it's just talking about all the religions in general.
In general.
And how it didn't really work for them and that they don't believe in it. And I can see why RM likes it, because he's an atheist, correct? So I can see why he resonated to this a little bit.
I think so. I don't know if he's ever said he's an atheist, but I think a lot of them said they don't really fall under any type of religion or religious practices. So.
But I can see why he resonated with it. I don't know. I guess my opinion is a little bit more broader, because everyone can have their own opinion about a religion. Like, you can tell me Islam is bad, blah, blah, blah. I won't see you any other way, because that is you're entitled to your own opinion. However, if there is a difference in like how you talk to me, how you respect me, then that's a problem. But like, you can hold your own opinion. Like, that's where I stand with that, I guess.
Exactly.
But for the people who were offended, I can understand why. But it's just a matter, I guess, of reading into what he's trying to say.
And I also said that because, like, girl, I'm on TikTok, girl. I try not to talk about anything too serious, but like, I will never tell anyone, especially as a Black woman, just in this world, I will never, from firsthand experience, tell people what they should be offended by and what they shouldn't be offended by, because we are not monoliths in our races and our cultures and our religions. So everyone has different views because of those experiences and the way they live their life of what offends them. But what pisses me off is that not being able to actually have decent conversations about these and trying to come to some middle ground, because like what you just said, if you were like online and said that, I promise you someone would have like
100%.
Either commented to you or tried to say something where how you're wrong, this is offensive in all the ways, and like something about you're not a true Muslim. Someone had said that to me, even though I'm not Muslim.
They told you you're not a true Muslim? How dare you, Simone?
No, they said people who... I mean, I'm not, but no, they said people that weren't offended aren't really true Muslims, and they're like disrespecting their gods, and like they see their idols higher than their gods. I'm like, okay, hold on now.
That's why I quoted that one line, because that one line gives it a little bit more broadness or flexibility. I try to see the bright side of things when it comes to like politically nuanced things like this, which is crazy because it's music. It shouldn't be politically nuanced.
Thank you.
But here's what I have to say to this, because it's like my people that are offended. If you are offended, I understand why you're offended. But now that you know that this is somebody he likes to listen to, find another artist. RM is great as BTS, but if you don't like him as an individual soloist, it's okay to not like a member of BTS. It really is. You can find somebody else to listen to. And either way, it's okay. It's okay.
I just wish it was so simple, because I've literally been trying to preach the exact same thing you said. It's just like, just please.
Yeah.
It's annoying because I know there's some people out there who is making all this noise and all this fuss, but at the end of the day, when they come back for that tour, I'm going to have to fight them for tickets.
Oh, the hypocrisy is real.
The hypocrisy is strong. It's strong, and that's, oh my God, that's the one thing that annoys me the most out of anything, is just like hypocrisy. Yeah. If you're going to say something and stand by that, do that. I understand of having a change of heart when you learn something, but it's one thing to say something and then do the opposite, but you still stand on what you said that's opposed of what you're doing or what other people are doing. And it's like, didn't you just say like this was evil against whatever you believe in? I'm confused. What is going on here?
No, but like now that I'm actually thinking about it a little more, like the people who have been offended, I also kind of understand where they're coming from because just because of the history with Islam in like basically every area of the world, they're always attacked first.
Yeah,
So
and especially after 9/11
Yeah.
here in America. So trust me, I understand that.
so it's like it's like it can trigger certain people, and I understand why. So, and especially if it's coming from an artist that you look up to, that you adore, like I understand.
But this is why, not to be like that, but this is why I keep saying we have to find new ways of like looking at the celebrities and still realizing they're human, especially if they make a mistake or a not so mistake, but it starts like controversy and not huge. I'm talking about little controversy like this. I'm not talking about like what's happening with like Danny Masterson from that 70 shows as of now. That's something completely different. But
Yeah.
we just have to find a new way of looking at them, to be honest. And I don't know what that is to where we're not completely like massacring them and everything that they do and like nitpicking everything they do, but also if they do something, it doesn't affect us that much, you know? But knowing people are different, like I can still like you and like your art. I don't know. I really don't. It's a big question I've been asking myself, especially getting into like a fandom. And I never thought in my entire life I would get into any type of musical fandom.
But yeah.
Because I've always had that view. So like it's easier for me to say that because I've always been like that from the jump, even being a BTS army. Because sometimes some things I say, I'm saying it jokingly. I hope people realize sometimes, like I said, sometimes when I be sarcastic, I don't know if people know I'm being sarcastic or not. But still, I can still enjoy their music. May not agree with everything that they do or say. But it's not enough for me to like leave. You know, it's just hard. It's hard. It's hard. And I don't know how to navigate it.
Have you read the lyrics though?
I've seen people in like videos of like people breaking them down. So not even just like non-Muslims, but like Muslims themselves. So
okay, because I'm reading it, because it's like if it brings me to my knees, it's a bad religion. Again, like I said, it could be any of the monotheistic religions. This unrequited love, to me, it's nothing but a one-man cult and cyanide in my styrofoam cup. That immediately rings a bell to that one cult that tried to like kill themselves on that one island. And Suga also sampled from one of their speeches. Do you remember? And he got hate for that.
Are you talking about Jim Jones?
Yes. So that kind of reminds me of that. So.
Okay. So I was not sure if I was going to talk about this, but Nafees brought it up and I was correct. We didn't talk about this when we initially started the podcast because I think we started back in like November of 2020 and all that happened during the summer, especially the peak of when George Floyd was killed. Now, what I stated is true, and that's what I had believed when the incidents first started. I believe if you're going to use any type of like speeches in music, you have to do research on who gave that speech and where the speech is from. So I stand by, I believe that was a lack of resource, not lack of resource, lack of research, and just being like, oh, this sounds cool. Let me just put it in the music, not doing like a completely full background check. And I have said that before in certain instances as well, where people will take things like that and put them in like artwork and not really knowing most of the time the background history of what they're putting into the work. And some may know, and they're purposely doing that, which again, I believe it's up to the viewer to form an opinion whether you're okay with that or not. And the only thing, I will say it here on the podcast, the only thing I didn't like about that situation, well, there was two things. I'll start with the biggest one. I am upset because I really do feel like the people that were bringing that speech to light were holding on to that for about a year. I don't know if any fans of BTS or BTS Army that listen to us remember this, but we had heard an example of that speech back in 2019 in one of their documentaries. I don't remember which one it was, but I do remember it was one of the ones that was shown in theater because me and Macy went to go see it. And I remember they had played that when they showed Yoongi working on D2 in the hotel room because they were on tour at that time. And it was, again, in 2019. So you would have thought if people had recognized that speech and knew it was a Jim Jones speech, they would have said that right then and there, and we could have avoided this whole thing, especially at the peak of Black Lives Matter. And like I said, when George Floyd was killed. But I find something very sinister of people who knew where that speech had came from and like waited for a moment like that when like all racial tension between everybody was super high, and use it as a way to bring him down did not sit right with me. So that was the biggest problem I had with that whole thing. And my second was, I do personally wish that Yoongi himself had said sorry. At that time, he had said sorry through the company. Now, they did the right thing by taking it out. But I wish he had made a personal statement, because when he was doing his little radio show, when Jungkook got in trouble hanging out with his friends around COVID, even though it was still the beginning of COVID and it didn't peak like that in Korea when he went out, but he still got backlash. So when he was a guest on Yoongi's little radio show, he actually apologized. Jungkook apologized for hanging out with his friends when he didn't need to. But that is something I still think about even to now. I do wish Yoongi had publicly at least said something about that, but I don't hold that against him. Again, that is my own personal, I personally don't hold that against him. And I do not blame, like Nafees was saying, with the Muslims that were offended by Namjoon sharing that song. I do not hold anyone to any type of I don't look down on the Black people that were truly offended by that and left the fandom completely. That's their right. I keep saying this when it comes to race and religion. We are all not monoliths. You have a right to feel how you feel, especially when it comes to something that offends you or doesn't offend you. Just don't attack the people that didn't feel offended, and don't attack the people that did feel offended. Again, easier said than done. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I never really talked about it. And especially at the time, I didn't know how to talk about it. But I do believe as we're doing this podcast more and as I'm speaking more, I'm getting better at explaining how I feel about certain things. Because obviously, if you have been listening to us long enough, I'm still a fan. I'm still here. But yeah, I just wanted to let that be known. So let's get back to this episode.
That's kind of funny because I think we started our podcast around that time, and I didn't talk about that because that's what I was talking about, of people getting offended or not, especially when it came to the Black community when all that happened.
No, see, that was a big whoopsie. That was an actual mistake. That's something they should have looked into.
Yes, and I blame people not doing more history of that speech, but I also heard that samples also in a Post Malone song, but I don't listen to Post Malone. So where's Post Malone's backlashing for that? Is it because he's a white man?
I mean, Yoongi's also white.
Yoongi's Korean.
Right, but we're talking skin color. That boy is pale.
He's honestly not that pale.
Really?
I'm going to need you to look up the way Koreans have a built-in filter in their phone systems to where no matter what type of video you're recording for anything, if you are on their network, it automatically has that feature. I also know that because someone that I follow who is Black, and she took a trip to Korea and she was asking people how to take this filter off because she didn't set it up. It's something that's built into and this is coming from someone who has seen them twice. I've seen them in person twice. All of them are not that pale, especially Yoongi. They're not that pale. They're a lot tanner than what they look on camera. But that also has to go into just colorism in general. We don't have time to talk about. Because I could say a lot about that. And I've been trying to hold my tongue on that because I don't know if colorism came from colonialism, or especially outside of America, if colorism was around before colonialism. But to me, I believe colorism and racism go hand in hand.
Colorism has existed since biblical times.
Before?
I would say, yeah.
Okay. But colorism also heightens the way people act towards racism, whether they realize it or not.
It kind of feeds into that.
It feeds into it because it's if you're saying this about people of your own same, is it
Mhm.
ethnical background of their darker skin. What are you going to say about me as an actual black person? And I'm dark skinned. Like, if y'all seen any videos of me, if you see my TikTok, there's no hiding that. I don't try to pretend to be anything less. So,
but yeah,
that's another thing too about, like, not going off topic, but like when the strike is over with, that's my also frustration with like media. And when it comes to representation, I've noticed, and I think I said this a while ago when we did like either our anniversary episode or something, when I was talking about how diversity to me in media is fake because they'll find someone who kind of like fits the character book of the diversity, but it's not actual diverse. Like, for example, when you're casting black people, they always are going to pick the like lightest skinned black person that's closest to white as far as shade of skin tone. Like, whether we want to admit that or not. Like, I know Hybe is doing some type of global girl group that's going to be on Netflix, which is interesting, like a survival show where you can vote for them.
So like in Hyphen and Siphon, like them?
Yeah, but it's going to be like on Netflix, and they're not like all Korean, like they're from different parts of the world, and they're all from like different backgrounds and like races and stuff. And there's like 2 black girls on there, but I was like, wow, not even just the black girls, because, you know, people always erase dark-skinned Asians. I was like, wow, they really did the paper bag test on these girls, didn't they? Like, hardcore.
Right.
If no one knows what the paper bag test is, it's basically, you know how light a paper bag is, but it's still a certain shade of brown. That's technically the acceptable shade of brown in our society if you're going to be some type of brown. So if they hold it up to you and you're anything darker than that, then yeah, no, you're just not going to work.
You're saying these girls are not darker than that?
Not at all. Look up Dream Academy.
Dream Academy.
Try to look for a picture right now of what these girls look like. You'll know what I'm talking about. Because that's another frustration that I've been having. I haven't watched it yet. I wasn't interested in the first season, but I don't know if you've been aware of the... You see what I'm talking about?
Interesting.
It's like so much for a global girl group. There's not really that much representation. Not saying none of them are untalented. I haven't been keeping up, and I'm sure they'll make a great group of whoever they pick. But it's just really telling. I am just saying.
They're barely brown.
Listen.
Like, I actually had to look. I was like,
you had to...
I want to add something here, and I don't want to put the whole blame on Hybe. Let's also look at the one man who's been trying to get into the American market since I feel like he created his company, and that is Mr. JYP himself. If any of you know, I completely forgot about this, but on YouTube, he was doing this whole series apparently called A2K, which I think stands for America to Korea, and trying to form an American girl group. Well, as of today, as I'm recording this, which is September 22nd, the girls that were picked just got announced. Same thing that I said about Hybe and the colorism. And I do think one girl is black, but you have to squint. So yes, another thing too, with JYP specifically, and me and Macy had actually talked about this. If you listen to the first like hour of when we did guessing our favorite Wanna song, we were catching up in general because we haven't talked in a while at that time. And we talked about JYP, and we both said how we really don't like how he's run not only young girls, but women. There's some disturbing, like, I don't want to say, I'll say rumors. There's some disturbing rumors about a particular artist that JYP had the Wonder Girls around when they were minors, when they were here in America. I'll give you initials. He's a black man. First initial starts with R. Last one starts with K. But anyway, because apparently they were friends. I don't know if they still are or not, but they used to hang out. I should tell you something. Anyway, in that group, apparently, one of the contestants is 13 years old. 13 years old. I don't know how old the other girls are. I just know the youngest one who got chosen, and apparently, I was seeing a TikTok of a person I follow who was keeping up with the show. And it was interesting to me when he had said the way JYP acted towards her. And it seemed like in his eyes, that girl couldn't do any wrong. And like, she was very favoritized by him. Does not sit right with me at all. Again, just wishing for the best for those girls. Wish them a good career, happiness, safety, and all that good stuff. But yeah.
Nafees, this is why I can't be doing these ramble episodes when I'm like tired, because I start getting more real like I've been. I'm noticing. I don't know if that's dangerous or not, but
I mean, it is a podcast about what you're thinking.
That's true. Very true.
How old are these girls?
I don't know. I don't know much about it because I've said this a million times. I'm not a competition girly. I don't like survival shows. I never have. Whether it's making groups, established groups.
They can vote via TikTok and Weverse. Okay.
Yeah.
17. Okay. They're like 17, 15-ish. There's a 21-year-old, 19-year-old, 19, 20. So I'm guessing it's like 15 to 21 range.
Okay.
Yeah.
So still young. And another thing about that too, because I had brought up Scooter Braun earlier, I don't know if it's been announced who is managing that group once it's formed. I don't know if they're going to be under Hybe America or Hybe Korea.
Yeah.
Like Hybe.
That would be interesting if Hybe itself like actually managed them.
I mean, there's been a lot of stories of how foreigners are treated in Korea. So I just hope the best for them. Whoever gets picked. That's what I was going to bring up is I don't know if you've been keeping up with the gossip of Street Women Fighter 2 season 2.
No, I have not.
So, because I didn't watch the first one and I didn't watch Street Man Fighter. I used to love like watching dance shows. Like I used to watch America's Best Dance Crew, but I had stopped after high school. That was the last time I really was like invested in dance like that. So it's been a minute, but there's just been a lot of talk because apparently this season they wanted to decide to bring, I think, only 2 international groups. And one of them is named Jam Republic. And Jam Republic, I guess, is a very, well, I don't know if it's Jam Republic, if that's just the name of the crew or that's the name of the whole company. But like they employ like dancers. And when I say dancers, I mean, these people have like some resumes on them of who they've worked for, or choreographed for. And I know that one girl that's on there now, Kristen, like she's worked with artists like Rihanna, Justin Bieber, just to give you some names. But there is one girl on there who is Black and her name is Latrice. And just from the clips that I have been seeing of how she's been treated has been interesting. I found some websites, actually some nice people on Twitter when I asked where can I watch the show, to fully watch the show to get a better assessment besides just clips. But it's not looking good. And it's, especially with one girl, there's like one girl who's like really after her, like named Relic. And they cut the scene out too, apparently, where like Relic had said when they were supposed to go up against each other and battle, that battle wouldn't be fair because Latrice's body is made for hip hop. And she's crying. And she made Latrice cry. But they cut out Redlick saying that and Latrice crying, but they keep all the times Redlick is crying.
Damn.
Yeah.
See, it would have been different. It would have been different if she said that like as a joke. You know, like
no, she was dead serious, tears and everything. Like because she is a bigger body, because she has a body of a Black person and a Black woman, that just automatically assume that she's good at hip hop. Like every Black person's good at hip hop and dancing. We're not. Sorry to break that to you guys. We're not.
Or love chicken, right?
Or singing. But not only that, things are coming out where there was that. And then when they were, I guess, choosing which choreography to do, they had to make up their own choreography for like, what am I trying to say? Not a competition, like a challenge, I guess, where they would get like different girls from each like dance crew to do someone's choreography. They ended up picking Latrice's, but it's because they thought it was the easiest. But when you actually look at the dance, it's the one that's more in line with like the beat of the music. And then when she was trying to explain like her way of the dance, because she's not Korean, I think she's actually from Australia. I think she said that, but she doesn't know Korean language. So I'm sure there's people around like translating for Jam Republic. I don't think any of them speak Korean. And every time I see clips of them, they're speaking English. But they were like, well, you're dancing to the beat of the music and not the lyrics. If you needed help understanding the lyrics, you could have asked us. But it's like, you don't. That came out that apparently they be dancing to the lyrics and not the beat. And some of them are like choreographed for K-pop groups. So now everyone's kind of like, is this why K-pop, like some K-pop dances have been looking weird lately? Because they're not dancing to the point of the music, which is the rhythm and the beats and the instrumental.
Yeah, that would make it look very awkward.
So then there was that, and then realizing like Latrice actually her dance was the more like difficult as far as technicality, so they're all complaining about that, even though they picked her dance because they said it was the quote unquote easiest, but it really wasn't.
Something to whine about.
And honestly, and then that one girl Relic, like Red Lick, from the clips I've seen of them like doing the dance and like doing the music video, even though Latrice is supposed to be the leader, but she's taking over and trying to act like the leader and tell people what to do to try to overpass Latrice. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. And I
wonder if that beef is like real or if they like force them to do it.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's edited or not, but no, from what I've been seeing, Redlick seems like that type of person who was never told no in their life. So she gets away with a lot of stuff. And if she ever does get told no, she just starts acting like a victim herself. And I also said this too, because a lot of people like online would say like every time they see her dance, it looks like she does mostly like hair choreography. Cause like she's always flipping her hair around because she has long hair, but it's like, girl, do something else besides like flipping your hair and twirling. Like there's more to dance than just that. And I was like, this is another example of colorism. I'm going to be so honest and pretty privilege. A lot of the people I've seen defend her seems to stem from pretty privilege. And even as I've seen her dance, it's like she's not a bad dancer, but she's not the best dancer. And she's so arrogant about it when someone who does show up like Jam Republic, who are actual great dancers that seems like they've been in this game for a while. I can't talk about everyone else. I don't know how long they've been dancing or choreographing or whatever. But it's like when you see people that are better than you, and you don't know how to handle that because you never surrounded yourself with better people to try to improve. That's what annoys me. Like, the girl really needs to be humbled. I'm going to really need her and her team to like get kicked off. I'm so sorry. Her team has to take the fall from the way she's been acting, but it's just been ridiculous.
Yeah. Is that an ongoing show right now?
I think they're only on only episode 3 came out last week. So I'm going to try again to see if the links I have work so I can watch it.
All of this happened in the first 2 episodes?
Girl, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to watch it. And I think I'm already came to the conclusion. Once Jam Republic leaves, whether they leave on their own or if they get voted out for some dumb reason, that's when I check out. Because I don't think I can handle the microaggression I'm seeing.
But then again, we don't know how much of it is instigated and how much of it is real.
And that's what I mean. Like, I don't know what parts are actually edited or not, but...
Because there are people that have, like...
Something tells me what Redlick is saying is not edited.
RBFs, but they are, like, the sweetest people in the world. Because we just don't know since it's televised. But the only way, really, to know if it's, like, true or not is if, like, the contestants themselves come out and speak out about it. You know? And
they usually don't like them to do that if one, like the episodes are coming out, or sometimes they make them sign contracts. So we never know, even if it was like bad, they have contracts where they can't talk about it. So,
because I know with Jessie, something similar happened with her when she was on that type of show. And like they made her to seem to be the villain, but like she really wasn't or something like that. And they just made everything so dramatic for like effect. And again, we find this out years later when she's doing interviews and stuff. So it's like, I don't know how much of it's true. I try to like wait a little bit before jumping the gun on these type of things. That's why I say I need to watch it in full. Yeah. But how many episodes are there?
I just told you 3.
No. Like in general, like the total.
Oh, I don't know. Because that's another thing with Korean variety. And I think some dramas, I think there are times where they're still like filming them. even when they release them. So I don't know. Yeah, they don't all like film it all at once and then release them like weekly. I think they still be in the process of making them and releasing them at the same time. However, when that clip did come out, I'm just letting you know, I did have to make...
Say what?
I said when that clip came out, just to let you know, I did make a tweet. It was mostly about the body thing because that really bothered me. So just to let everyone know what I said. I don't know how many times we have to say this from any minority group. But subtle racism, especially when it comes to those stereotypical beliefs, like me and Nafees just named off a couple of them, it's still harmful because a lot of the times they can lead to the outright racism.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, the subtlety, and sometimes that hurts more. I feel like I've said that before also, than the outward one. But they can also lead to the outward one. Regardless, it's what you say or what you physically do. So just be careful. As I'm going to keep saying, not every race is a monolith. What you see a group of people doing doesn't mean everyone does that. Especially
in the climate that we're in today, it's better to be careful than to, say or do anything without thought.
I mean, if you care. You also have to just care.
Yeah, you just have to be human at that point, too. Which many of us forget sometimes to be.
Or to treat others like humans. So,
yeah.
Was there anything else we wanted to talk about?
No.
V's album is great. Go stream Layover, guys.
When did his album come out?
On Friday, as we're recording this. So it's good. I'm going to be honest, like that type of music, especially when I was younger, is music I don't usually listen to, but he did it in a very well way to where even people like me who mostly focus on like faster beats, heavier styles of music of like hip hop or rap or even just pop music, it's still enjoyable to listen to. It does calm at least me down a little bit. It's just like nice, easy listening to music, some inspiration from like blues, soul, R&B, gospel, jazz. Because we know that's the type of music he likes to listen to, like on his own. And he said that before. And I'm really happy he was able to put that in his own album. I'm not going to lie. I still would have enjoyed it, but I would have been like, why is he doing like a hip hop song? And that's not like his personality outside of the group. So that's the one thing I've been enjoying about these solo projects. They're more focusing on the type of music they want to release. And that aligns more with like their personalities outside of BTS as an ensemble. So
that's good.
It's been nice. It was so funny because you know how Jin and Hobie, like they're still allowed to post sometimes like on social media. Jin went on Weverse and was like congratulating like Taeyong of his album release, but he was also like he got into a conversation with like other guys, his military unit, and they were comparing like if Jin or Tae were more handsome, and Jin was trying to pretend not to get offended, and he's like, but there was a moment where I turned around where they couldn't see and like shed some tears because I am supposed to be the only one that's the most handsomest in this world. I was like, Jin, I missed your humor though. I got a good laugh out of that.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm glad to see they're doing somewhat well. The others still have to go. We have not heard from Yoongi since he finished his concert and he announced his enlistment. Like the next day he announced it and it's just been silent from him. But if I'm going to be honest and not assume too much, I'm not surprised because I'm sure he's taking the time to just do whatever before he has to go. Probably see friends and family or just chill and like literally do nothing. Like we don't know. And I also don't know if he has to go to active like duty or if he's doing the civil side. Because I know he got surgery on his shoulder, but that also depends if they examine him to where they don't think he can still do the active duty. Because I know when you do civil, that takes a little bit longer. So, because the active one where you're like in military branches, I believe is 18 months, and the civil one's about like almost like a full year. Or 2 years, my bad. It's a full like 2 years, so it's like 24 months and not 18 months.
Okay.
But I also would expect like him and probably RM2 to like hit their enlistments the longest because they're very, I don't want to say workaholics, but they really care about what they're doing, especially in music. So for him to have to like take a real break from not making music like that, I'm sure he's also having to deal with in this time. So like the people that are saying, where is Yoongi, or if he like secretly enlisted without telling us, which I don't think he would do at all.
The space he needs.
Like, just get that man.
Yeah.
Let him be. Just let him be. Let him process however he needs to process.
Yeah.
Let them all process how they need to process.
Update as I am recording this, as of September 17th, that I'm recording this, it has been announced that Yoongi is going and doing his service on the 22nd. I was slightly right. I'm actually a little scared, but maybe I'm just being observant. So he is doing like the social service and not active service, which again, I had a feeling because of his shoulder, even though he got surgery to like get it fixed, I don't think it was in the condition, or they must have medically came to the conclusion that it wasn't in, what am I trying to say? Like the right condition. There it is, for him to do active service. So he is going to do like a 9 to 5, which will be interesting because it's kind of like a public service type job. So he might do like, I don't know how their postal service works, but it's kind of like that here. I know when the rapper BY went, he was actually in the police department. So maybe he'll do something like that. I really don't know. I know Shonu was a kindergarten teacher, so it really could be anything. Shonu from Monsta X. But Yoongi's going to start that and basically go to like orientation on Friday. And I don't know how long that's going to last, but then he's going to do basic training for about 3 weeks. Cause I believe every man, no matter if you do active service or the social service, you do have to do the training and then go back to his job. And it is going to be a little bit longer. I had said 24 months in this. I don't know where I got that number, but thankfully on mine, it's 21 months. So it's like 3 months lower than what I had said. But anyway, we wish him well. We all wish him well. I know a lot of armies are sad. It is okay to express any type of feelings you have towards this, whether it is sad, whether it is crying, like it is okay. Don't let anyone like de-evaluate your feelings or like tell you you're not allowed to feel these things, because we all care about him. And yeah, listen, to keep my hopes up, like we all keep saying, the sooner they leave, the sooner they can come back. Okay? Because I'm ready for all 7 to come back. And we still have 4 to go. I think I will be okay with Namjoon leaving when this gets announced. But again, y'all, just check up on me. Just check up on me.
Because only the guys that actually serve in the military really know what's up about it. I know Namjoon also recommended this Netflix show that's called DP that talks about the military service. It is dramatized. I'm watching it. It is a lot, but I don't feel, again, comfortable talking about it because that's not my country. I live in a country where that's not mandatory, so I have no right to speak on that.
You also haven't been in the military.
Exactly. And as a woman, I don't have to go to the military, whether I lived in Korea or not, unless I wanted to. And I'm pretty sure there are some women that are in the military, but that's volunteer. Band is mandatory. So, yeah, but I am just excited and impatiently waiting, as we all are, for when they come back. I still kind of want them to take some type of rest before they go fully onto like album, tour, interviews, whatever. But yeah. And like I keep saying, I'm only really excited, not because I just like them so much, it's because I think they're really doing it for themselves. And not just because they're a big group. Like, I do think they all care about each other and enjoy working with each other so much that they want to continue.
They're supposed to... Are they re-signing their contracts, or did they do that already?
So they already did that back in 2018 when I was starting to become a fan. But I don't know if they're going to have to do it again when they come out of the military. I don't remember how long they had signed up back in 2018.
Because I think it was like a 7 or 6 year contract.
Was it 7 years again? So they might actually have to renegotiate when they come back from the military. We'll see.
Man, I am doing a lot of pop-ins. But they did re-sign their contract again. It was announced sometime this week, I think on like the 20th or the 21st, but they did re-sign their contracts to go beyond 2025. For how long, I'm not sure, but they will still be a group when they all come back from service. It's still unknown if Hobie and Jin had re-signed their contract before they went to the military or after, but if the company themselves had put out an article saying they were all going to renew, they're obviously going to renew, whether it was before or when they come out. So regardless, 2025, we're getting BTS back. 2026, I have to save money. I am not missing this reunion tour. I do not care where I sit. I'm going to be there. I'd rather be at the highest seat in nosebleed than miss this opportunity. And I'm going to try to go to several shows. So I really need to save. But this economy really needs to get its shit together.
Speaking of 2018, because I'm sure this episode will come out, it'll be on the 24th. Well, besides my brother's birthday, so happy birthday, BJ. It'll be my 5 years as being a BTS ARMY. So
wow.
That's I know. I did not think I would still be here.
Rooting them on.
It shocks me every day. Every day. Also, happy birthday to my bias, my man, Kim Namjoon, because it's going to be on the 12th and it's coming after that. So ignore the haters. They can fuck off. Best leader, the one who dragged me by my ankles, as I keep saying, down this damn rabbit hole because he just had to pop out of that ambulance looking like that, rapping like that. And I told Macy, who was that? And my life went downhill in a good way. And then I was introduced to 6 other great men. But yeah, happy birthday to him. He's turning 29. Yes. Because I have to remember not to do the Korean system anymore, even though they still do the Korean age system.
I mean, that's going to be phased out over time.
And happy late birthday to Jungkook. Yeah, it's going to take a while. I mean, that's basically ingrained in their everyday life, society talking. So... Real quick, I promise I am a good daughter. I love my father. He listens to this sometimes. So Dad, if you're hearing this, happy birthday to you as well. Because I realized I had said happy birthday to BJ, whose birthday is on the 24th, as I said, of September. He's a Libra. Said happy birthday to BTS members. And I didn't get to say happy birthday to you, who is also a Virgo. And his birthday is on September 17th. So happy birthday to my lovely father, my rock, my ride or die, my number one fan. Yeah, I know I don't tell you this enough, but I do love you and thank you for everything that you've done for me in life and continue to do to support me. And I'm not sure when this is going to drop, so I hope you had a good day, whether it was spent with me or not. But yeah, happy birthday, Dad.
Wow, that's crazy. They're entering their 30s.
And you'll be 31. Mm-hmm. We talked about this last time. Yeah. You still have some time, though. You're already in your 30s, though, so I'm sure it's not bad.
I'm in my 30s, yes. Fun stuff.
Any advice?
You're doing great, Simone.
I didn't need for me, but thank you. Well, I have like 4 years left.
You're 26?
How many times do we have to do this?
Really? I thought you were younger than that.
How many times when I bring up my age, you always ask that? No, I'm 26. I don't act my age, but I'm 26. 1997 gang, stand up.
No, but some general advice I guess I would say is if you had something you really wanted to do it, because there were a lot of things I wanted to do and I kind of regret not doing them when I should have. So do it. If you need to go on that vacation, take that vacation. If there's a job that you really wanted to do, go for it. So yeah. That's my main thing.
There is not an age limit on life, and I need people online to stop thinking once you pass 25, you're basically in the grave. A lot of ageism talk has been, since forever, and I know always in K-pop too, but again, that goes to my thing of them needing to stop debuting children. And also with that one new rap duo, Flyana Boss, people saying they're in their 30s, which they're not, but they're in their mid-20s, I believe, but people getting on them. being in their mid-20s and just now like becoming well known in their music. I just need people to leave people alone. That's pretty much it.
Everyone's timeline is different.
Everyone's timeline's different.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way, so I'm just letting y'all know everyone's timeline is different.
I don't know if I learned that the hard way,
I did.
But I know what you mean. Like seeing people from my past and like they either have like really successful jobs now or like they're in marriages or they're on like their third child and I'm kind of like still living with a parent acting like a teenager. It's like, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Is it my shy personality? I mean, that is one of it, but
it's just really the way everything played out and how we responded to it, you know? That also plays a part too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you've been watching before we officially go? Like media? Even though it's nothing really new, but is there anything new you discovered?
I'm not watching anything new per se, but I am rewatching White Collar. Have you heard of that show?
I have, but I never watched it.
I really like it. I'm rewatching that.
It's like that and Suits apparently has been really popular on Netflix.
Yeah, Suits is a great show. I like that. I'm kind of sad they're not on Amazon anymore, so I can't watch it, but it's a good show.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't share my password with you anymore either, so.
How is that going for Netflix? Are they actually cracking down on the people?
Girl, who knows? I don't know anymore, so.
I just think that was like the dumbest idea ever. Like, you don't need to be...
And still is.
Like, as a company, you cannot fault your customers for something you didn't do correctly. Like, hello.
We're really going to end up going back to cable, if we're being honest. And I don't know how that's worked since, especially now, I watch a lot more like international shows than like regular shows. So like if we did go back to cable, how would that work for me finding these shows? I don't know. But currently, I'm watching it as it's coming out. So I'm watching this K-drama called Behind Your Touch. It's pretty cute. The lead guy in it took me a while to realize is the same lead guy in my other favorite drama, Because This Is My First Life. He plays a cop in this new one. Yeah, it's basically about like a vet and something happens during a meteor shower to where now when she touches like animals and people's butts, she can like look into their memories.
He's also in Because This Is My First Life.
I just said that.
Was that the one you were talking? Is that what you just said?
Yes,
girl.
That's what I just
oh my
said.
Gosh. Anyway.
Oh my God. This is the same feeling I have when I tell my dad stuff.
No, you said he played a police officer. He doesn't play a police officer.
I said he plays a police officer in Behind Your Touch.
Oh, okay.
Yes, or detective. But I was saying I had recognized him for Because This Is My First Life. And in this show that he's in now, he plays a police officer or detective, really. But maybe I misspoke. My bad. But yes, him. I like him. The show is cute. I had watched Mask Girl. That one was interesting. That one was dark. That one lady that's in The Glory and a bunch of other stuff too. I usually like her character. I can't think of her name right now. But this one, she really had me annoyed. Mask Girl is good though, if you haven't seen it.
That's on Netflix too?
It is on Netflix, unfortunately. And I'm also watching that superhero one that some people have been talking about that's on Hulu called Moving.
Oh, I heard things about that one too.
Yeah, it's good. I like it so far. I'm only on like episode 4, but yeah, it's about some of these kids have like powers. I don't know if their parents do as well. And then there's this one guy going around, I believe, killing the parents, and we don't know why. So
I did not recognize the main lead because she was also the main lead in Happiness.
I never watched that.
Oh, what else is she in? Worlds of Two Worlds.
You've told me about that, and I haven't watched that either.
Yeah, she's the lead in that, but she looks so different in this show. That was like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
Which one? The moving one I just talked about? What does she look like? Is she a student? Is she the student or?
She's the main girl, the one with the glasses.
Okay, well, she's not main girl, but I know who you're talking about. She's the mother of the main guy, the main guy. Yes. She's playing the mother as the main guy.
But yeah, I heard that thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, good.
Good? Oh, okay. No, I saw you doing whatever, just making sure. No, I was just ending. I was saying that's pretty much all I've been watching or can watch.
Nothing American?
I was trying to think, but no. I was also trying to watch the show we said we were going to do, and I've just been procrastinating on that, so I am going to rewatch that. If you still want to do it, unless you want to do something else.
What is that playing on?
It's on Hulu.
Then I can watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing American.
Okay.
I did say I was gonna watch that one show that America Ferrera used to be on that's on Netflix that looks interesting, Ugly Betty. I never watched it before. It keeps coming up on my recommendations. It looks interesting.
Okay.
There was this one anime I was watching. I still kind of am, but I haven't watched it, like the new episodes. It's called, I think, Zom 100. And it's basically about this guy who works at like a company, and he, like all of us, he hates his life and he hates the company and hates working in general. And then all of a sudden a zombie apocalypse like breaks out. So like now he's using the zombie apocalypse as a chance to do stuff off his bucket list that he was going to do if he wasn't working.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, it's very cheesy, but it's like, yeah, it's funny how it had to take a zombie apocalypse for him not to be able to work anymore. He can start living out his dreams.
Is that where we are headed? Is that where we are headed?
We might be. We actually might be. It might take a zombie apocalypse for us to actually like chill out and do things we want to do.
I mean, it took COVID for us to realize a whole bunch of things, so I wouldn't be surprised.
And nothing changed.
Yeah.
And nothing changed. So you know what? Maybe the zombie apocalypse will make them work. Like Kim Kardashian said, no one wants to work anymore. So they might get the zombies to do it.
Possibly.
At this point.
There's no room left for discrimination at that point either, too, so.
Who knows? Maybe they'll find a way to discriminate the zombies. I don't know. Or like the humans and the zombies and the robots that take over our jobs.
I swear, people in history, like 100 years later, we're going to be like, what is wrong with us 100 years ago?
That's if we ever change. If we haven't changed at this point, then I don't know what. That's why I'm titling this like losing faith in humanity. Because I don't know anymore. All right, well, this is another long one, so we're ready to almost wrap up because I still would like to take a nap. I kind of still need to do laundry.
Oh, I have to do laundry too. That's been piling up.
Man, being an adult sucks.
But I was going to say, though, for what it's worth, there are still good humans out there, good people out there. Enough people are standing up and being consistent with what they think is right. So there's still some hope left.
Yeah, I think a lot of it. And there's something I didn't touch on that I'm not going to because we've been here long enough and I'm ready to go. I didn't talk about the brick situation that's been happening on TikTok, but it really just boils down to coming back and building a sense of not community. I keep doing this. No, yeah, community. I almost said communications, but I ended up saying the word I wanted to say. Of building community. Like it starts like small with community and then branches out to more, like as you see, like with the unions and stuff. But just the way some people are and think, it's a lot harder to do that, especially with our, at least American society, heavy like individualism that we have here, where it's like, if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to, or if it doesn't benefit me, then what's the point? So it's trying to break out of that mindset. I just don't know where to start for that. And it takes more than one or two people to actually want to break that. But if not enough people want to break the people that want to make change, then we're not going to go anywhere.
I agree. And with that thought,
with that thought, that food for thought, hopefully when we come back, we can talk about more happier fun times. I keep bugging Brianna to tell us about her trip in Seoul because we both have questions. I especially have questions of someone who still would like to visit, but I have my own concerns. And yes, those concerns heavily are because I am Black. So I just need to know from one Black woman who I personally know and not have to go on like YouTube and stuff and like see all the negative stuff when it may not be the case.
Right.
I just want to know.
I'd like to know too.
Yeah. Not like say here is a total utopia and people that visit here or live here are just like it's Disneyland and even Disneyland is corrupt. But again, at least I know places I can go here where I'm relatively okay it's different when you go somewhere you don't know or unfamiliar. That's also why I'm trying to improve learning this language to like navigate a little bit better. So, but yeah. Which we have our class coming up soon.
I am.
You excited?
It's been a while since I've taken those classes.
I hope the girl that was teaching last time is there again. But we'll see. But it'll be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Yes. And then I guess we will plan for the rest of this year, which is almost over, which is crazy. So look out for that. Again, I don't know when that's going to be. Our schedules as of now are a little all over the place. So when we come, we do. I think that's why we also do such long episodes. But thank you for sticking around if you have stuck around this long. I also noticed when I say like comment of how we're doing, I didn't realize until I was listening to a different podcast. I may not have the ability to see that, especially if they're listening outside of the country. And what type of platform they use. I don't know how to get access to those. So if you have been, I'm not ignoring you. It's just I have no way to communicate. But thank you. And hopefully they're positive things. I don't know if you wanted to say anything else, Nafees.
No, other than thank you so much for tagging along with us throughout this entire thing. It's been like, what, 2 years now thus far? Almost.
Our 3rd year is coming up in November. And I didn't know if we wanted to do something for that or not. But yeah, we've almost been doing this for 3 years.
But yeah, thank you for tagging along with us. But yeah, like Simone was saying, if you have anything you want to let us know about, you can always email us or contact us through our social media on Instagram. We just have Instagram, right? You don't have TikTok?
Instagram and X. I hate saying that. Instagram and Twitter.
And Twitter. But yeah, just let us know. Please make sure to give us a 5-star rating. And yeah, we will talk or see you all next time.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye, guys. Enjoy your day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. Just enjoy and try to live life happier.
Bye.